Hello, smart thinking Americans. You smart thinking Americans, you know who I'm talking about because you're probably watching this video right now and you understand what I'm saying without having to go into further explanation on the fact that we're heading towards a one world government, new world order. Now, if y'all don't know about 9/11 and what's going on in Libya and about what's about to happen with the currency collapse, well, you're kind of behind on information, and it makes it hard for people like Stick 187 and Pastor Dow and Alex Jones to explain to you what's going on with current events when you don't even know what's happened. Okay? My first point I want to make is that we are heading towards a police state type scenario when the dollar comes to collapse, which will happen within, could be next week. I give it a max of a couple years. And my question to you, Americans, is what are you doing about it? And everyone's always response to that, and I'll probably get a comment on it, is, well, what am I doing about it? Well, what I'm doing about it is this. Same thing that other people, smart Americans, are doing. They're using the free internet source, a free sharing source, YouTube, to spread the message. That's all you really can do at the moment, and it's not a bad idea. You know, there was a time in the 60s and in the 70s when young people like us in our 20s, we were always open to these debates, and we're always talking and always questioning. Now that's come to the point where that's annoying, or you're weird, or why are you even questioning authority? You're supposed to question authority. Our founding fathers told us to question authority. That's why we're losing our rights in this country, because we don't question, because we do sit back and allow the tyranny. When is it going to be enough? How long are we going to sit back and just allow these outrageous bills to pass that allow, the Indian habeas corpus, the bringing up of the Patriot Act, the allowance of these executive orders if martial law passes to seize up every asset that we own? You don't own anything if martial law happens. Nothing. How long are we going to let this keep happening to where TSA can just grope not only adults but our children under the suspicion that they might be a terrorist? Which you can look at most Americans and you can pretty much tell that we're not all terrorists. That's just an outrageous assumption that we have to all stand in line like cattle and either go through an x-ray machine or, as they say, opt out and be fondled. It's outrageous, it's unnecessary, and at the minimum is unacceptable. You have people like Alex Jones, who's been doing this for years. He started doing this in the early 90s, probably even before that, for all I know, trying to wake people up to what's going on. And 90% of everything he has said has come true. That doesn't make him a prophet. That doesn't make him smarter than you are. That just makes him intelligent enough to connect these dots and to figure these things out. It's not hard to do. You can do it. It's not hard to do. It's called research. And I've got nothing but houndings and ridiculous remarks and statements that, oh, I'm crazy, or there's something wrong with me because I go on the internet or YouTube to get my information. That's the freest source of information, free information. You think I'm going to get it from the CNN and Fox News? You think you're going to get it from your parents? You think you're going to get it from your neighbor? The only person you're going to get it from is you and other like-minded people like you. And where's a good place to do that? For starters, YouTube. There's communities. You can talk with your neighbor about these things. Wake them up. What can you do as one person? Inform people. What can an informed society do? You can evolve, and you could end this. You could help slow down this process and hopefully prosper and revitalize and, have a revolution over this. It's really not as hard as it seems. We as an American people are the freest, strongest people in the country, and that's why they're trying to dumb us down and take away our rights as fast and as quickly as possible as they're doing. because they know that we're a big threat to this one world government, new world order, and how they're trying to depopulate the earth. They know we're the biggest threat to them. That's why they have to dumb us down with all these drugs and entertainment. And to be honest, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of how you try to bring this up to people and they'll talk about it for maybe half a minute and then go right back to sports. Who really gives a fuck what LeBron James is doing and how he didn't win that championship? Who cares? Why do we care about Justin Bieber getting a tattoo? Who cares? Why do we care about Lindsay Lohan's new fucking court date? Who gives a fuck? Why is that headline news? You should be asking why that's headline news, and over in Russia, they're talking about stuff like I'm talking about on their news stations to their citizens. Because they're not ignorant. They're not an ignorant society. They're not an indoctrinated society. They're being told the truth, or at least an option of the truth on their public news. You try to talk about the stuff on the public news in this country, you're crazy. Not only are you crazy, but they'll try to discredit you for the rest of your life so you can't speak up on the subject again. An example, I went to a school. I'm not going to mention the school because I can already see all the stupid shit that comes out of that. I went to a school in a city in this country of the USA for not only 1 or 2 but 3 years. Now on the 3rd year I started waking up my people, my generation, to the fact that something's fishy with 9/11. Maybe it wasn't what we were told. Now, as soon as I started talking about that, not only that, but the future collapse of this society because of the hyperinflation, the collapse of the dollar, oh, I'm anti-American. Not only that, I need to move out of my own country that I love. These are my teachers telling me this. They're supposed to be inspiring me and being happy at the fact that I can even debate. But no. I need to get out of my own country. My own teacher tells me that. Now, what is that supposed to do to my self-esteem? I went to that school for 3 years, and on the 3rd year, right before my graduation, they accused me of selling drugs. Oh, now I'm a drug dealer. They're going to try to charge me with something because I'm making a movement happen in the school. I am making an awakening happen in the school. I don't want to talk about English or math or science. All the shit's irrelevant. The shit they're teaching in high school nowadays is so easy, it's ridiculous. It's not even, you're not even learning nothing. You'll get lucky maybe to get 2 out of the 6, 7, 8 teachers that you have that are actually really trying to teach you real stuff, like about buying silver and steering away from stupid stuff like dumb currency like the dollar, which is useless, which the Federal Reserve owns. Our government doesn't even own it. The Federal Reserve owns our government now because who do you think's paying for everything? A privately owned bank. People gotta wake up, man. You gotta wake up. And I just wanted to take this opportunity for this video to give a shout out to Stick187, Pastor Dow, Alex Jones. Those are some of my biggest influences of where I get my information, because you speak the truth. My intuition tells me it's the truth. I get information from you and God. And where does God come from? Religion has a lot to do with it, but I try to steer away from religion in this country because it's being used to control you. It's not there to help you. Yeah, I believe in God. I believe that Jesus walked this earth. Do I believe the pastors that are telling me, that are not warning me about the things that are about to come? No. No, I don't. Because they don't talk about it. They're not talking about that we're possibly living in the end times. I don't know any big pastors that are talking about the book of Revelations like these backwood churches are. The real, where you got these real churches. This right here, these 1 ounce silver coins were $35 a piece. This is real money. You hear that? It's the sound of real money. These dollar bills, they're not. But right now, you got a great opportunity to take this fake monopoly money, the dollar, the US dollar, and you can buy real wealth, like this silver right now. if the dollar does collapse, and I'm not saying it will, but there's educated people out there, there's signs out there that can show you that it is probably about to collapse here within the near future. If you don't have precious metals like gold, silver, or platinum, or what have you, you're gonna have nothing to barter with. You're gonna have no way of eating. You're gonna have no way of getting fresh water. You're gonna have no way of getting clothes. You're just not gonna really have a good time during this, if this happens. I don't want to say it's gonna happen and then it doesn't, and people say I'm crazy. But signs, there's plenty of evidence that can show you that it is probably gonna happen. What can you do to prepare for this? You can get silver, like I just said. You can get this right here. This is amoxicillin. It's an antibiotic. I collect this. Not collect, but enough just in case of infections and if anything like that happens, because when this society collapses, if you don't have stuff like that, you're not going to make it that far. And I'm not doubting people's skills to survive on their own or off the land. But how many people do you know that if they didn't have the McDonald's dollar menu or government food stamps or help from a third-party source would be able to make it, would be able to survive? Would you? Would you be able to survive if the dollar collapsed right now? Do you have food stock? Do you have dry food, pinto beans, rice? Are you growing your own vegetables? If you're not doing these things right now, you're not dumb, but you're not being taught or shown the right way, the right path, which I think is something that is in all of us to do. If you just do basic research on half the things I'm talking about right now, you will find that I'm right in most of these areas, if not all, and that you need to prepare for what's about to come, and what's about to come is hyperinflation, mass chaos, society breakdown, martial law, police state. And if you don't know God, and if you don't have the resources that keep you alive for the next 6 months to a year when this happens, you're not going to survive this. Which is good for them. That's their plan. They don't want you to survive this. They're going to cause all this for a much more bigger reason than just shuffling the deck and giving a new country the most powerful wealth. These people are trying to depopulate the earth. If you haven't heard of the Georgia Guidestones, that is something you can look up right now. It's in 12 or 13 different languages, and it has a creepy 10 Commandments listing of what they want to do with the new earth during this next age that's about to happen after 2012. Now, I'm not talking about 2012 and all this stuff about destruction and stuff like that. I'm talking about after December 21st, 2012, we move into the age of Aquarius, and these people plan to have this new world order in place and carried out and running by that time. So there's your time scale, of when things may come to pass. But even if it doesn't, even if people like me and other people on the internet and all these other talk groups, if we at least just awake people enough to slow it down, that gives you more time to stock up on silver and real wealth and like gold and weapons. You're gonna need weapons. I'm not advocating hurt anybody, but you need self-defense. You need God, you need faith, and not only God, but in yourself and what you can do as a human being, as a person. There's plenty of research, there's plenty of books that can teach you how to live off the land, that can teach you how to exercise and teach yourself how to fight. There's plenty of information out there like that. And I just don't want to see my fellow people collapse because they were too stubborn and arrogant to research the shit.